Hey guys, and today we're going to be comparing an old Zombies map to the newer version of it. They're going to have some similarities, like you're going to notice the theming is the same, but generally it's going to be a lot better. So let's get right into it. As much as I want to actually show off like gameplay of me walking around this map and everything, the weapons are really glitched right now, and it would just be quite unpleasant actually. So we're just going to kind of do this float around thing kind of going on here, so shouldn't be that bad. But once the weapons are all fixed up and ready to go, there'll probably be more actual showcasing of like what's going on with that. Right now, some bugs with the weapons have actually been fixed. They just look really, really weird right now. So anyways, let's get into it. So we kind of have this kind of urban, like neighborhood looking area. You have some barriers here. It's really not exciting. This is obviously the original version of the map. You got some fences. You have a hill. You got, these are the power-up stations. They change color based on the power-up type, and you can actually stack them. So like if you buy health one time, you can buy it again, but it costs double the price, and so on and so forth. So over here, there was a barrier here, so you'd have to buy a door to get in here. Some boxes, you get behind the house. And I believe there was originally going to be another barrier here, so if you get enough points, you can kind of open up the whole map. It's not very big, but comparing it to the next map I'm about to show, it'll make a lot of sense why this has been changed. So just a heads up before we get into this, there is going to be these debug lines. These are not in the final game. You're just going to be seeing these a lot, and I'll kind of explain why these exist. They're usually just barriers. So for example, the doors have the mesh, and then they have what blocks you from actually getting through the door. So anyways, here's the map now. As you can tell, it's got the same kind of grass texture, the same kind of house idea. Now, I really thought that because these maps were more about the main character having a nightmare, I figure that a good nightmare would be that he goes to see his old neighborhood, but it's been kind of turned into this like weird city sort of looking thing, and there's a lot less houses. It's way more industrial looking. You got these weird pipe fences going on. You have kind of some of these barriers here. You have these military kind of barriers that are present in other levels of the game, kind of all stacked up. You got pipes for construction stuff. You have the spikes that are everywhere. You have these glass spinners. And as you can see here, I'll kind of show how this flows. So you have a door that goes around here, and there's actually two kind of exits for this map. This one's probably the quickest, but as you can see here, these are all zombie spawns. Now, this symbol, this is a new thing. This is for the zombies, so you can see where they will spawn. And you can see here that's pretty clogged here. You go around here. You kind of get into this area. You know, you have some freedom here. You can obviously open up this door later if you have more points. You'll get a little prompt at the top of the screen that lets you open it. Go over here. There's another exit actually over here. This one's cheaper because it's harder to get to, but this is if you want to avoid opening this door completely, which will cause the zombies to travel longer. It's sort of about like it's just a decision you get to make. So you go around here. It's pretty clogged again, which is why it's cheaper. But back here, there's going to be a really good weapon pickup. So that'll be kind of the trade-off. But if you open up this door, you get to get into this area as well, and you get the weapon pickup. But it's more about challenge versus how many points you want kind of thing. Maybe you want to do a different path. Maybe you want to try to challenge yourself. Maybe you want to do the easiest route. It's all up to you. Now, as you can see, it's not totally finished yet. This actually, setting up all this did not take me very much time. I have to finish off the other half. But as you can see, we kept the hill, and there's the same house that's over there. That'll probably get swapped out for another building. But you go up here, and it'll get a lot harder. It's kind of the same layout, but actually in these areas, they're not all blocked off. You're not constricted to the street. That's what this door is for, is you get into kind of these grass, or you get into kind of some of these grass areas as well. And that'll be more prevalent when you get into the higher, like the upper hills area. Also, I've made sure with the barriers to add more kind of choke points, so when you're playing, you are going to have that feeling of claustrophobic. So as I was saying, I've worked more on the choke points, which you probably saw when I was floating around here, but the idea is to kind of have that feeling of claustrophobia while you're playing, so it feels like you're crammed, but there's also a possible path for escape as well. So with that being said, that's mostly what these props are for, and these boxes and these blockers and stuff like that. Door blockers are different. These get obviously removed when you buy the door. These stay pretty much the whole level. And I'm thinking of adding like Easter egg stuff as well. I was thinking of actually having air conditioners hidden around the map, and when you shoot all of them, you'll get possibly like a free health upgrade or something like that. I don't know. I gotta look into that. But as you can see, there's enough room to survive, but at the higher rounds it will be harder to kind of maneuver. But that's why you have tools that can knock back the enemies and stuff. Like actually the kick, we got that to work with knocking the enemies back, as well as the axe already does that. So you'll kind of have two ways to do it. So it'll hopefully be pretty fun when it's all set up and ready to go. So for this next part, I'm going to warn you, the weapons do not work, but the kick does. So we're going to actually take a look at the kick. And you can see here we actually have the placeholder asset, that old pistol. And I'll try to swap weapons. As you can see, it's very messed up right now at the moment. But let's kick one of the enemies and see how they get knocked back. See, sometimes they'll get paralyzed if they're moving. Let's try that again. Maybe that. I think it froze for a second. It's still loading all the assets and stuff. Let's get rid of some of these guys. As you can see, they get knocked back and they freeze a tiny bit. Now, obviously, the axe, when you swing the alt fire, it does that too, but right now it's broken. So, best way out is the kick. Which sometimes that'll just kill them too. Just a heads up, I am still working on that game androgyny. This is just another level. There's 2 other levels that are finished. There's 4 in total. There is a lot of narrative in the 3rd and 4th one, which it gets quite interesting. Just thought I'd show you guys where the project is at. Thanks for watching and have a good one.